Sorry. Now you are audible. Thank you very much for your patience. I hope you are getting a lot of knowledge out of these sessions. Now this is the last session and very different sessions. Young CEO session, I can say. So I would like to invite our moderator Anushka Kalantri. She is a podcaster and she has been doing a lot of things. So I invite Anushka Kalantri, please come on dais. And we have a second panelist, first panelist I can say, Professor Rajkumar Dware, Professor and Head Department of Dairy Science and Food Technology, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. Dr. Dware, please come on dais. And we have a next panelist, Dr. Kavita Reddy. She is well known. She has been working in the wheat for the last several years, and I can say she is authority in nutrition, and she has come all the way from the Hyderabad. So I invite Dr. Kavita Reddy. And next, Mr. Punya Vas. He is the head raw material purchases, Mrs. Vector Food Specialties Limited. Please welcome all of them. No problem. I will complete this, and you can come. And next panelist, we have Mr. Dheeraj B, Managing Director, Narasu Sarthi Enterprises, as well as he is the President of Tamil Nadu Flour Mill Association. Dheeraj, please come here. And next, we have a Dr. Suresh Taru, is another name in the food technology, and he can discuss about a lot of things about soil fortification and new latest technologies coming in the food science and bakery science. And with another I can say upcoming heroes of the flour milling industries, Kunj Gupta. He is the director, Shri JRG Foods Private Limited. Kunj, please come on dais. And next we have another dynamic leader, Anshuman Grover. He is director Shri Govindan Prime Foods, Rajasthan. So now Anushka, it is over to you, please. Thank you.
Good evening to one and all. I know it's been a long day, but I hope this panel discussion is quite interesting because we have all the young CEOs sitting here. So let's not waste time and I'll start with the questions. So my first question to you, Professor Duwari. If you look at today's food ecosystem, what are some biggest nutritional challenges that the food industry must solve over the next few decades?
Yeah, thank you, Anushka. The major challenge when we say that we have fortified or we have value added the product is that at what level we are fortifying it. If you are fortifying a wheat with iron or vitamin complexes or folic acid, whatever things you are adding, we are fortifying based on the requirement on the RDA or whatever the requirement of an individual or the targeted population. But the study on bioavailability means what quantity you are providing, how your body is uptaking. So the target based or the population that you are targeting, that bioavailability study is very must. So I have heard some of the millers or producers, they are fortifying that particular product, but how much quantity, if the iron is been fortified, how much it is been bioavailable to the particular targeted population, if it is a woman or a lactating mother or a growing child. So that is very important to study.
Dr. Suresh, your take on this? Yes, about what just Sir spoke.
As Dr. Sab has mentioned, yes, bioavailability is definitely one thing, okay. And see, now I have been working on soy for quite some time, and I always encourage food to food fortification. Okay. And
So sorry, we couldn't hear you.
food to food.
Food to food
Food
fortification.
to food fortification. That means, of course, adding micronutrients is always good thing, and especially they can provide us enough amount of the vitamins and minerals. But if you do food to food fortification, that's what I come from, where addition of soy flour or something like soy can actually help us in improving the protein, increasing the protein, and improving the quality of the protein. And also it can help us some of the vitamins and minerals which are more available in the other food as a fortificant can actually give even more benefit. So, in this, because we are soy is rich in iron, okay, it has about 9 milligrams of iron. So if you do fortification, so you will get about 10% fortification, means you will get about 0.9 milligrams of iron. Naturally, it is coming from the other food, and similarly, it's rich in calcium. So like that, we can always get the other nutrients from one food to the other food, like a composite flours, like now it is becoming quite popular. So one food can also complement the nutrients from the other, so where we can overcome some of the bioavailability issues as Daksa was discussing. Okay.
So, sir, what do you think? What are such misconceptions about wheat and nutrition that you think the industry should address?
Sorry?
What are the misconceptions about wheat and nutrition that you think the industry should address?
Misconceptions, see, like lot of things we always feel like white flour or maida is unhealthy.
Yes.
Okay. See, now a lot of things are going on around on the social media. Maybe Dr. Reddy is the right person to discuss about that. There are misconceptions. In today's environment, everybody has become a nutritional expert. So definitely, see, no food is a bad food. Okay. So this all depends on how much you eat and how much you consume. But again, I'll go back to the food to food fortification, where you can actually overcome some of the misconceptions and increase the protein content in the food, so that we have a very high protein deficiency in India. That is the reason now we see a lot of interest in the wheat-based products. People are looking at increasing the protein and fiber. Even people are thinking of adding wheat fiber back to wheat flour to enhance the fiber content, because the next big thing is going to be the fiber, because we all see that after the COVID, the immunity has become one buzzword, and the fiber, the prebiotics, which play a very important role in our gut health. So that is something which is coming up, and people thinking wheat is not good or soy is not good. These are all myths. But if you look at the science-based evidence, no food is bad, okay? And of course, processing, we do processing for certain benefits. Like a lot of times we say gluten is bad. Gluten is bad, not at all bad. It is one of the best proteins which actually given for the bread industry. Without gluten, you cannot make bread. It is not at all bad, because of lack of information. People spreading misinformation is the problem that is causing. And if you look at gluten intolerance, maybe less than 0.5% in the world is, and you are making that gluten is a big bad thing. But it is actually one of the best things, and the whole bread industry depends on it. Okay, and it's a good protein, and nowadays gluten protein is being used in plant-based meat products to get additional functional benefit, and when you are looking at a plant-based meat. So these are all myths or misconceptions. They are around the foods. So I don't think we should be following on what came on the social media. We should see what the person who is talking about that, look at his or her credentials and believe in that. And no food is bad. Wheat is definitely not bad. It's very good, and it is feeding so many, more than 100 million people, or 100 million tons is being consumed in India. And I see actually there are a lot of new opportunities for wheat. My friends from the wheat industry must be thinking what this old man is talking for the last 20 years. He's talking about dal and a log, lentil and a log, And now I have seen in the last 2 years, there is a lot of new opportunity for wheat, and we can actually make use of these foods and actually bring it like a sustainable solution to some of the problems the country is facing. I keep going on that, but I will stop it there and well, thank you.
Thank you for your perspective. But I would like to ask Dr. Kavita as well, since we are talking about the gluten, gluten-free and demonizing gluten all over. So what do you think in your perspective? Should we consume it or not?
Of course, you can consume it. See, in India, more than almost like 40 to 50% of our daily protein comes from cereals, whether it's wheat or rice. So not because they give us a lot of protein, but we eat a lot. Quantity-wise, we eat wheat or rice a lot. So when you're getting 40 to 50% of your protein from cereal for past God knows how many years, so it can't be bad. The problem is there is a niche group of people who really think gluten is the villain, and it started with the Western countries where celebrities removed wheat from their diet, and their staple was bread. So if you take out bread, pizzas, cakes, and all such things, naturally they lost weight. But in India, it won't work. So I know it's a problem, but if we go on talking about, and actually, more than 90% of people do not even know that gluten is a protein. The Gen Z is so focused on protein, but if you really ask them, they have no idea. They want protein, but they don't want gluten because they don't know that gluten is protein. So we have to increase awareness. I mean, I'm not Gen Z, as you can see. So there has to be a lot of awareness on social media, because it's starting small, but it can become big. Right now, I run a clinic, so I know it's not a very big issue, but it can become. But from science, gluten is not bad. It is a good source of protein. Only thing, it is not good for people with celiac disease. So naturally, if you can't tolerate a food, you have to keep away from it. But otherwise, it's perfectly all right for most of us.
Thank you. So since we're having gluten in the talks, I would like to move on to Mr. Watts. And wanted to ask you that from a bakery and a QSR perspective, what qualities are non-negotiable while sourcing wheat flour for you?
So I'll tell you from a flour perspective. I'm no quality expert, buyer, but 2-3 things come to mind. One is the dough stability time, because we, in a high-speed QSR line, bun volume and rise are two things which are non-negotiable. So all the parameters that come from, that relate to them are supposed to be very important. So dough stability time, this mixing tolerance index. So essentially, if they are off, the dough will overmix. It will choke the proofers in the line. Second thing that comes to mind is VAP, that is water absorption. But it has to be a good VAP by a natural means. If it is either by over extraction or spiking it with gluten, then what it does, it acts as a temporary sponge. So it will absorb water at the onset, but it will sweat, and then the buns would be, very soggy. And thirdly, one parameter that is even more so important this year is the falling number, which tells you that whether the wheat is, unseasonal harvested or like luster loss, what we say in common terms. So these are 2-3 things that come to mind which are non-negotiable, and which for a player like Mrs. Bector's, who cater to a large QSR industry, these things have to be kept in mind.
So do you think or believe that premium quality flour is becoming a competitive advantage rather than just a raw material?
Yeah, so the end product guides the raw material, and flour is, for a player like of the stature of Bector, flour is no more a commodity. See, it's directly correlated to how the bun would come out. So for us, and this is my request to the miller community also, that the grist blending, it should be a large prerogative that they should follow that, as in to end the final product come good. So premium flour, not just premium, the basic parameters should be right. And the flour should be sourced at the right time. The wheat should be sourced at the right time. The flour should be milled properly, proved. If you should not be, like we say, the silo sitting time should be high enough. So this is some of the things which have, if not done properly, then it will bring a bad name to everyone.
Anyone else would like to take up this question as well? Mr. Grover, Mr. Kunj.
Yeah, I think what Punya sir said really makes sense, because as flour millers, it's very difficult to differentiate until and unless we can really come up with better quality, better milled products, rather than just focusing on commodity. So flour earlier flour mills used to be only about ash content, bran extraction, but the end product, we hardly used to talk about the end product. And now we talk about we have a different product for pizza, we have a different product for noodles, we have a different product for specialty breads, croissant. There's so many new products coming in. So as millers, it becomes even more important for us to really do the R&D to ensure that the quality that we are producing is what is being marketed and sold to the bakeries as well. So it's not about good, there is no good flour, no bad flour. There are certain applications where you require high gluten flour, and there are certain applications where you require low gluten flour. So the intention is to give the customer what they want, rather than just provide a generic flour and let the customer decide. And that leads to food wastages, that leads to rejections, which impacts, there are so many other impacts that happens because of that, unnecessary wastage, man hours wasted, production yield wastages, production time, downtime wastages. So as millers, as a bakery, we really need to come together and really work together on providing better quality flour, which is actually which translates to a better product at the end of the day for them.
Thank you. Would you like to speak, Mr. Go?
What I feel is that that's not a hidden fact that consumer demands are changing very rapidly right now. Consumers are not only seeking high protein products, they're also seeking clean labels, clean ingredients. So this is true for both B2B and B2C segments. Now if we have to cater to their demands, we need to understand how our customer demands are changing, and there has to be, like Kunj said, there has to be a target specified multifunctional, not a multifunctional flour, it has to be a target specified flour in which it is not a general product anymore. So we just need to focus on, we have to narrow down, we have to downstream the consumer demand to something which is the flour which is functionally, targeted functional. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Dheeraj, my question to you. Consumers today are looking for products that offer both, convenience and health. So, where do you see the biggest opportunities for these value-added wheat-based products?
So now, as you see, the couple, the husband, wife, both are starting to work. The practice of our old tradition of people wanting to make food, long recipes, difficult recipes is shrinking. Everybody is moving towards convenience. And wheat as such is a big staple of India. It feeds a lot of people. So you see ready-made dalia now, you see instant chapatis, you see instant parotas, a lot of frozen food. It's all becoming a lot more convenient for people to work with. So a lot of new startups also are coming in this space. A lot of mills like us also explore and educate people on what they can innovate in this value-added program. This is just the start, I will say. There is a lot more for it to come. So even in the baking industry, you have, there are people ready to make breads at home now. You get instant dough, you get instant everything, basically.
True. So, do you think there are other industries apart from this food industry where we can, get into products wheat-based which can add value Any other industries you've
So,
explored?
like what Professor was telling, protein is one place where they're taking, gluten is another place. Starch industry is also using the wheat now. They use it for ethanol also in between. So there are a lot of applications where wheat can be used because wheat is functionally a very, very good source of a good raw material, basically, yeah.
Thank you. So I'll go to Mr. Grover. Uh, Again, like AI and data analytics are definitely transforming our industry as well. So I would want to know how can these technologies reshape wheat processing and better respond to the changing consumer preferences?
AI.
It's for Mr. Grover, yes.
So, as our economy is becoming more and more sophisticated, we need to really move from basically commodity floor grade to something which is uh, more application specified product or an ingredient. And I think data analytics can help us achieve this goal. Also, if we see there is a large gap between what the customer wants and what is available in the market right now. We need to really leverage historical data that is available to us with something like real-time monitoring systems in which we could combine those both things and uh, achieve this target functional that I was speaking earlier. So apart from this, I think consumer demands are rapidly increasing. Everybody wants a clean label. Everybody wants a high protein product. So we have to use these technologies, and these technologies are available at hand. Somebody mentioned NIR sensors. We also have AI automated process controls. We also have AI-enabled quality monitors. Using these technologies, I feel we could really, uh, transform our classification from commodity processor to solution providers.
Yeah, a lovely narrative there. So I think today's conclave is also about something where we want to promote and not promote, but make spread awareness about wheat because it's being demonized due to gluten and a lot of other things. So I am concerned about the wheat's image. So my next question is going to be around that. So I would ask all of you all that many consumers associate wheat with gluten-related concerns. So how do you think should the industry rebuild the trust using science rather than marketing? So I'd invite Professor Duari to go first.
Uh, Interestingly, what happens is that we talk about a lot about functional foods. This is the segment which should the wheat millers or producers should explore. Why? Because this is the segment where you can get a premium product in a good market price. And there are customers who are willing to pay that. The only thing they needed is to be proven that whatever the product you are providing, they are functional in nature. So if you are proving that with a concept, with a proven record and certification, so there is always a functional market. Now one of the wheat, I think many have heard about, the black wheat variant. The color variant wheat. The color variant wheat has so much anthocyanin compounds in that, and these pigmented compounds has already been proven that they are good in antioxidant. And these antioxidant compounds are correlated with your heart function, your cardiovascular diseases, and even the hypertensions. So if those can be the targeted product to develop the functional food segment, to have a proven that this particular premium mix or flour is having a antioxidant enriched compounds, which is good for your health, you have a good segment of that. That segment need to be tapped by the producers, the big players, and that need a very strategic marketing, that how your R&D along with the other academic section and industrial collaboration is putting up to launch that product with the aim that we are going to provide a product, a pigmented, suppose one of the example, a pigmented wheat-based product, either in a snacks form or flour form, which is good for your hair.
Even I feel the same, that there is a lot of misinformation, misconceptions because of social media. So we people should a little bit increase in the awareness of what is good about it. If there is an innovative product produced, a little bit talking about it where it is seen. So it should be good, like somebody qualified talking about it, whether it is related to muscle building or decreasing any of the chronic diseases like diabetes or heart issues, cardiovascular diseases. So the more we focus on that, it would be better. More awareness, more push for the good products. That's important.
Would you like to answer?
So when you say gluten is bad, first thing people should understand, without wheat, we cannot feed ourselves. So it's a huge grain which people need it. But it is true, people do talk very badly about gluten, about maida. They say everything white is bad. The nutritionists say don't eat sugar, don't eat everything white basically. But at the same time, what people don't realize is bread is also made of maida, and they don't even realize. They go to the shelf, they pick up a loaf of bread and they eat it. And now a common misconception is atta bread is much better. But theoretically, there's a lot of maida in it as well. So as an industry, so what we are doing to fight this misconception is, there are a lot of doctors who understands that gluten is not bad, maida is not bad. We are bringing them, taking small snippets of them and posting them online. But the unfortunate thing of Google is, when you key in something, only the bad things appear first, because they are more searched for. So these things, we are trying as an industry to promote it to the people. So very soon it will start reaching them. There are a lot of research papers also telling all these are false. But people are very misinformed. Just to get a few views online, they speak about all this. So as days go by, I think things will change. Now Gen Z, even though they are like doom scrolling, they are a lot better in at least understanding all these basic principles. So that's where we are targeting next, because they are our next audience. So we are targeting towards them.
They are very much aware about what is happening, and I think they are going to keep the industry on toes to, increase the transparency in what is being delivered to them. So, anybody guess?
See, as Kunj and others were discussing, there are some opportunities for product-specific flours and other things, and where science can play a very important role. Science-based information, as Dr. was mentioning about the anthocyanins, pigments.
So your voice.
Sorry?
Yeah, you'll have to hold the mic.
Yeah. Anthocyanins and pigments, which have a lot of health benefits, and maybe industry should look at, say, like if you look at our Indian population, we are genetically predisposed to get certain diet-related degenerative diseases like heart diseases and diabetes like that. So that is where actually industry should look at. There is a lot of enough amount of research available on a role of diet in managing diet-related degenerative diseases. Like we are like almost 110 million people with diabetes. Wheat is good for diabetics compared to rice, okay? At the same time, we can actually look at maybe something like with the resistant starch. That's where technologies are available. Like I was discussing with somebody making breadcrumbs using extrusion technology, which is a lot better product than compared to traditional breadcrumbs, where during the extrusion there is a starch modification. So which will have brings down the lower glycemic index, and science knows, have been telling us that's good for the diabetic people. So like that, so we can actually, the industry should look at the science and understand how some of the components, whether they're pigments or whether they're starch or protein, that can help in managing these diet-related degenerative diseases, and industry bring those products. He was talking about flours specific to product-specific flours, and I would say disease-specific products. So that is what, like, we spend a lot of money on managing diseases. So as a functional food, if you bring it, manage your diseases through food, that will be actually a lot more beneficial in bringing down the management cost, disease management cost, and also you are giving health food. And for the industry, you are actually adding more value, like just not just selling the flour. So if you are just selling a flour, it will become a commodity after a certain time. So they have to come up with some additional value to the consumer. So that is where I think science is very much available, and we integrate that science and technology and make consumer oriented products to meet the general public benefit.
I think that's a great idea, what Sir said. We have to move away from the mindset of just providing normal commodity flour. There are so many things that can be done to make flour better. We say flour is, a lot of people say flour is bad, but flour can become better with slight modification. So, there is enough R&D that has gone into it, but as an industry, we need to focus more on creating those R&Ds, taking out those initiatives, and ensuring that we come up with products which are made using flour, made using wheat, but they solve a particular purpose. They are something better than the normal flour that that has been going on for generations.
I would just like to summarize. Sir was also saying about we should not specifically, rather than making a functional product, we should also focus on protein synthesis or starch synthesis. That is already happening, and I think China is leading in that thing. They are really synthesizing protein from wheat. They are also synthesizing starch from wheat, and also providing low gluten flour, which is very difficult for the industry to manufacture. Also, with the help of technology, we could really control the moisture management, which is a challenge for all the flour millers present here. And we could also use that technology for flour blending as well. Because at the end of the day, the consumer does not want to buy flour anymore. They want to buy an outcome, and we need to be ready to deliver those outcomes as soon as possible. Thank you.
Awesome. So coming to sustainability, if sustainability becomes mandatory rather than it being optional, what is that one change you would bring within your organization first? Of course, any one of y'all would like to take this up. It's open to y'all.
I would say rather than sustainability we need to focus on the raw material as well. I think sustainability that is a big part of wheat is a big part of our value chain. So we should promote, as an industry, we should promote more varieties of wheat which are less water consuming. I think that is one thing that but at the same time they produce similar kind of flour. So that is something that we can look at. At the same time, I think as mills, we should look at sourcing from as close by from our plant as possible to reduce the impact of unnecessary transportation. Also efficiency in general, every extraction percentage increase will lead to better you can say better electricity consumption, better overall nutrition. So that is something that we should look at.
Yeah, sustainability as a food technologist, I look in a different way. Of course, it is a sustainable way of producing food is very important, and we are increasing population, and we need to look at how we can better manage our resources and reduce some of the carbon footprint. That is all very important. What I look at as a food technologist is like not to waste the food. See, production is one part. Okay, you want to produce more, but if you reduce our wastage, that itself is actually bringing that into the food chain. So that is what is happening in a lot of places. So that is where I think better utilization of the byproduct, better utilization of the existing raw materials. A simple example, I was talking about the breadcrumbs a little while ago. See, suppose to make a traditional breadcrumb, you need about 40% moisture in the product. But whereas same product, you can do it in maybe around 20% moisture, 22% moisture in the dough, and you are actually using less water, you are using less energy to dry it, okay? So like that you can actually bring down some of the wastage and improve the efficiency so that your energy consumption, your raw material wastage or your scarce raw materials like water can be reduced. So that is how you can bring it. Of course, as an agriculture point of view, the scientists have been working on sustainable production. And similarly, meat analogs, what I was referring to earlier, this is also one of the sustainable way to produce animal protein. Is actually takes a lot more energy, a lot more water resources, like a lot of carbon emissions. Like wheat protein or soy protein, you bring into that using something like an extrusion technology, make it like a meat alternate. So that can actually make it more sustainable way of producing food and making more protein available to the next generation with the limited land available. We are going to be 10 billion people shortly, but the land remains the same. So that is where how efficiently we can actually utilize our land to meet the nutritional requirement of the people.
Thank you, sir, for that very insightful conversation. One last concluding question for all of y'all. What is that one prediction for each of y'all for the Indian wheat industry by 2030? So as per your niches, y'all can give us one prediction that you feel. Where are we heading towards? You can start, sir.
It's basically where the wheat industry. When I see the production-wise, obviously we are on the second most producer. So food security-wise, we are very much insured as per the wheat production, the productivity is concerned. But I came up with one of the report that to ensuring the high yield and the food security, the mineral compositions that has been in the high yield variant, those are going down. So that is where the people should also be concerned, and the people, the producers, even the breeders which are coming up. There are a lot of now advanced technology where like you can modulate the genetic sequence of the plant using CRISPR-Cas9 technology. So that concept is coming up, people are working on that. So in coming days, we can have a very good variant of your wheat, which are rich in particular compounds, and also the sectors which people are looking for diversification now. You can go to Amazon, you can find out the bread variant with the protein percentage differences. So there are market for this particular product, and there are growing market, and the sector is growing, and obviously that is a very rising your takeoff stage where the market can go up in future.
Yeah, okay. As a nutritionist, I don't see much of a change by 2030. There will be more rumblings about gluten and demonizing it, but without wheat, there won't be food security. So it's not going to affect that much, but it would be better if we start increasing awareness things. Even according to me, maida is not bad. As a balanced diet, if you're going to take 300 grams of vegetables and 150 grams of fruit, even taking maida instead of whole wheat is not going to be an issue.
So yeah, not necessarily by 30, but in the medium term, 5-10 years down the line, I see a lot of stress being laid on varietal exploration, and that would be led by corporates, because then they can translates to a true hold on the value chain. This is something I feel this trust would be upon.
So when you tell wheat as an industry perspective, we talk to two different people. We speak to government and we speak to the scientists. So when it comes to the government, they're very concerned about our population growth. So their continuous request to the scientists are only make more yield resistant wheat, make more sustainable wheat, make more water less consuming wheat. So the way the scientists are working, we are achieving towards that. In our limited farm area, we are getting more and more yield. So I don't expect that the government will be concerned about feeding our people, even though the population increasing so much in the next few years. So yeah.
I just would like to mention that adding value.
I
to-
think they are running short of time. Can you give some minute to conclude?
Adding value to the current product so that your revenues can increase and meet the consumer's demand through value addition is something industry should be looking at.
Yeah, I think I think everybody said the right things. More than that, I would want a better integration between the farmers, the processors, and the end consumers. I think that will solve a lot of issues from sustainability to better products, everything.
Well, on a very light note, I would like to finish that we may increase our milling margins till 2030 so that we can hold more conclaves like this. That's all. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you, audience, for hearing us patiently. Thank you.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness of reflection.